You are the abundance. You are abundance. You are abundance. You are the miracle. You are the magic. You are the gift. You are the blessing. You are, did I say miracle, magic? You are the magic. You are everything and you are nothing at the same time. What I'm getting at is, um, I feel like we need this reminder a lot of the time. And I feel like we forget about, we get so caught up. Like, I feel like just as a person in the world, you're born into the world, you watch what other people do, you kind of imitate what they do as a way of, like, it's almost like learning how to be human. but it's like, are we learning how to be human, or are we just like learning how to be members of this society, like members of this society? And Malcolm X had a phrase that said, "We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us." Right? Erykah Badu said, "I was born out of water with $3 and 6 dimes. Yeah, you may lie, but you did not do your math." And there's another line where she goes, "Peace and blessings manifest with every lesson learned." Right? It's like struggling, having, I want to say, a very interesting and deep and challenging connection and relationship to money for such a long period of my life. I realized, and then like going in and out, right? Like constantly going in and out of resentment, wanting to blame family, wanting to blame myself, wanting to blame society, wanting to blame God, wanting to blame the earth. I realized that all the anger and the frustration, it's like, I feel like I'm speaking a lot. I feel like my page and my messages is going to and is speaking a lot to folks who have experienced poverty, folks who have experienced struggle, folks who have overcome narcissistic abuse, folks who have felt stuck in life, or even just like for extended periods of time. I want to speak especially to folks who are maybe like over 35, right? You're over 35, maybe you're even over 40, and your life is still not exactly what you hoped it would be, and it just feels like you try another thing. Because I feel like the world, I feel like we're doing a lot of this keeping up with the Joneses so much and impressing people and lying, and I feel like we're missing the gold. I feel like we're missing the gems in the true stories by either not sharing our story or lying. And I feel like there's a lot to learn about someone. It's a lot to learn from someone who maybe never found success, or maybe someone who didn't become successful until later in life, over 40. I think KFC was invented by, or created, or founded by somebody over 60. And so, yeah, I feel like a lot of my messages and a lot of, that I do believe like attracts like. And so I feel like I just naturally going to attract a lot of reflections of me and folks who see their reflection in myself, right? And so one thing, having I want to say, trying relationship, an interesting and intriguing, a very deep learning kind of experience in my connection and relationship with money, I feel like the peace and the blessings, right? because I feel like it's peace and blessings. And in many ways, the peace is the blessing. Comes peace and blessings manifest with every lesson learned. And so I just, as opposed to falling into this, I feel like conditioned habit, even like conditioned habit or common habit, expected habit of self-pity and self-condemnation and self-judgment. I feel like God, universe, however you refer to it, I just find God to be easier because it's 3 letters, okay? And I feel like I actually just took it as a deep challenge. I took it as, how can I put it this way? Right? I feel like I came to Earth to learn, right? I believe I came to Earth to learn. And I'm here to learn how to love, but I'm also here to learn a bunch of other things, right? And I feel like we're all here to learn how to love, but I feel like there's maybe some other specific things that you're learning this lifetime. But I feel like we're all more or less learning the same thing, right? Like we're learning love, we're learning compassion, we're learning self-acceptance, we're learning how to actually heal. Not just say the word, not just go through the motions and buy crystals, but no, that actually heal, actually letting go. And I'm definitely going to talk more about this in other videos and things. And I've been having a difficult time getting this message out, which is also why I keep persisting on just getting it out, however messy it might come out today. Because I feel like there's a saying out loud, I'm speaking to myself, but I'm also speaking to myself. Like, you are the abundance. You are the abundance. You are the prize. You are the gift. There's been so many times where people would say, oh, this person is trying to sabotage me and I don't understand why. Or this person has more than me and they're jealous of me and I don't understand why. And somebody's always taking something from me and I don't understand why. And it took a lot of ups and downs and lefts and rights and twists and turns for it to really bring it home to this remembrance that I am the abundance. I am abundant because I am. If we are in and of God and God is completion, then I'm complete. Going back to the Erykah Badu quote, I was born out of water with $3 and 6 dimes. And so, yeah, you may laugh, but you did not do your math, right? 360 completion. And I feel like that's also why there's an O in the middle of God, because of that completion. It's a circle. What else where am I going? I'm going somewhere with this. Oh, and then it's like, what she's also saying is, I'm still whole even if I only have $3.60 in my pocket. That's why she says, yeah, you may laugh, but you did not do your math. You're not doing your math. It's like, you're laughing at me for not having any money, but that is really just a reflection of your lack of understanding that we're both whole with without money. I'm whole, I'm complete. I am one. I don't lack nothing. And this is what, the life coaches refer to as, what these life coaches refer to as lack mentality, right? And so I decided along this journey, right? Because again, like, I do this project and that thing doesn't work out, and I get invited to join this team, and they're a bunch of a-holes. Like, to be honest with you, some people just kind of are, right? Sometimes a little bit, sometimes completely. But either way, I'm blocking you, right? So I'm going somewhere with this. Bear with me. I'm pushing through this energy that doesn't want me to get this out. I feel like there's resistance from in and outside of myself. But part of my own resistance is constantly feeling like things need to be perfect and forgetting that I'm perfect as I'm already perfect. Like I'm already perfect. And oh yeah, right. So yeah, what Erica might do, and we're whole. I'm a whole person, even with $3.60. And maybe, and sometimes, not a lot of times, if you find yourself constantly having money struggles, more often than not, like that is the lesson. Why? We are constantly wanting to wish and pray for. We say, I'm manifesting abundance. I'm manifesting abundance. And manifesting abundance. And I want to challenge that phrase, because again, everyone just gets caught up saying phrases that they've heard before and applying it to all these different scenarios, and like that's not what you're actually doing, right? Like I don't know, you ever seen this video online, right? It's a little girl. She looked like she could have been about 3, and I guess she's seen people do the hula hoop. I use the hula hoop. And you've seen it. You can Google it. You know what I'm saying? Use a hula hoop, right? And an adult, one of the adults, I guess they put her in the middle of the hula hoop, put the hula hoop around her, and then she's standing in the middle. And first of all, she's way too small to use any hula hoop whatsoever. Literally, this tiny, like 3-year-old, more or less. She could have been 2. I don't even know. She's really small. And they was like, ready, go. And then she started doing this wiggle dance. And the adult is literally just, they're holding the hula hoop and doing like this. And they're just like, go, go. And the little girl starts doing this. And they're like, you doing it, right? And I'm sorry, but I feel like there's too much of that going on in the world. There's too many people going through motions. And then there's people around them going, you're doing it. And I don't feel like it's all ill-intended. I feel like some people are just maybe just wanting to be positive. Some people are intentionally being fake nice, and some people are genuinely nice, but they just feel like they're being positive. They're not telling you that you're not really doing it. And then I realize a lot of people are just uncomfortable with conflict. And so they'll just say the nice thing as opposed to the truth, where it's like, you're not doing it. And so I feel like I'm watching people go through the motions of being more spiritual, while at the same time, it's almost like they're applying these counterintuitive, like earthly conditioning to what they're doing. For example, clout chasing within the spiritual community. I'm like, what? How does that make sense? It makes no. It's like it even feels silly when I say this out loud. Clout chasing in the healing community, clout chasing in the spiritual community. Like, what? You became a healer to get famous? Excuse me? And then, like, sure, maybe it could get you popular, but that's definitely, to me, is not the thing to do to get famous. Pardon if I'm looking side to side. Sometimes there be people walking by me, and I like to, maybe it's an army brat thing or it's a hood thing, but I like to make sure I'm watching my surroundings. But, and then, so we'll say things like, I'm manifesting abundance. And then go do some clout chasing. It's like, what? Are you, man? Okay, so I want to challenge that phrase. And I want to say, are you manifesting abundance, or are you asking God for money? Okay? It's really important. Are you manifesting abundance, or are you just asking God for money? After not doing anything God told you to do, after not doing your God's plan, because you came here into the world especially if you came here into the world with a specific mission, and if you're decidedly you decided to ignore that mission because in your mind it's not going to get you money immediately, or it's not going to get you clout immediately, it's not going to get you validation immediately, emphasis on the word immediate. I'm just going to do this thing because it satisfies my immediate needs. And it's like, whoa, but that is literal lack mentality. So you're gonna do some money rituals after ignoring the instructions God gave you that they were probably was going to compensate you for. So one thing I can say about myself is there's been maybe a few times in my life that I've actually had a large lump sums of money, right? Actually, it's one time in my life that I can say I had a fairly big large lump sum of money, but most of the times I've had enough, right? I've never had a moment where I was actually able to save more than a few $1,000s, and which, you know, I'm pretty sure someone in the world would be blessed to have. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's not been moments in my life that it's like in my brain I keep wishing for $1 million to fall out of the sky. Meanwhile, what is my day-to-day looking like, right? What does my day-to-day look like? I picked up a smoking habit, and so that's what, like $1 or $2 a day, because, you know, you could buy loose cigarettes around here. So, pardon me. That's like $1 or $2 a day, and like that adds up. Long story short, reality is I could be better with money. I could respect money better. I learned the hard way, when I'm on my path, what I'm getting at is I've never really been in this monetary overflow. However, it's like there was never a time that I didn't have. Like, there's never a time in my life that I didn't have a place to stay. There's never a time in my life that I had to skip a meal. I feel like God keeps taking care of me just enough for me to learn this important lesson about abundance so that I can be in the energy to manifest the money I said I want to manifest. When we say things like, I'm going to manifest abundance, I'm going to manifest some money. Again, like, we're kind of conditioned. Maybe some of us are spoiled kids and you have parents that used to just hand you money, because my dad definitely did. He did it every now and again. He would just hand me some money. And so he would give me money, and also, how can I say this? He didn't necessarily insist that I work for it per se, but he did insist that I learn for it, right? And so his idea of earning was learning, which in retrospect, I'm like, that was a good start. It was a good foundation for myself. Although at the same time, in my state, you get to sign up for summer youth at the age of 14. And I realized at the age of 15, when he was signing my brother up for work, he didn't sign me up. So I'm like, wait a minute, what about me? Oh, no, don't worry about it. You're a girl, right? You do the school, you go to college, and then you'll find you a nice man and he'll take care of you. This is almost verbatim what he said. You just learn. I'll give you money, and, you know, you'll have your degree later, and you'll be fine. And in retrospect, that was a terrible idea, right? And so he set up a good foundation for rewarding learning. I would say great. And again, this is not me blaming my parents. I'm just sharing a story. I use stories to sketch the point. I mean, really, it's about the point. Don't miss the point. And so I realized I was starting to do that I was doing that kind of wishful thinking. I'm focusing on learning and waiting for some money, and I'm focusing on learning and waiting for money. And there's a lot of work that I wasn't putting in. There's a lot of footwork that I wasn't putting in. There's a lot of ideas Spirit was giving me, and I wasn't acting on those ideas. I think there was some part of me that it's almost like waiting for my dad to come give me money for what I learned. And I also feel like that is largely why I've always had just enough, because it's kind of like you are learning. You are learning. That's some progress. but your life will be way more abundant, and it'll move a lot faster when you get moving, when you get physical, when you get action oriented. I feel like it's also feel like it's no coincidence that my brother, my younger brother, who everyone thought was my twin for a lot of years, he's an Aries, and so I've always appreciated that Aries energy. He's definitely a go for it, like get it done. He's not afraid to take whatever job and show up, do the overtime. He'll do what he got to do. And I was a little bit more like, I'll get a job here and there, but I wouldn't stick around long enough for it to really, which is also kind of an Aquarius habit if we want to get all astrological about it. It is kind of an Aquarius habit. We'll start a thing and then move on to another thing a little too fast, move on to another thing a little too fast, and like kind of move on to another lemon before we've gotten all the juice out of this lemon. And I'm learning my lesson on that. But it's like all these lessons, it's like all these little lessons brings me back to this one thing. And I was just sitting in my sitting corner the other day, and I'm just like, wait a minute, like, it's almost like I forgot. It's like, wait a minute, like your whole, like when I started this spiritual journey, so to speak. I'm sorry, I have the sun behind me, and I've been kind of using this hood to keep the sun out of your face. So yeah, there's that, right? So, right. So this brings me back to a conversation I had with another Aquarius, and they're a bit younger than me, and I can see them learning that similar lesson. I'm literally watching them have an experience that I did literally have, like, and so, and thinking to myself, like, dang, I wish I had someone like me 10 years ago that, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, maybe I did and I took them for granted. I don't know, maybe that's my karma. I don't remember, so maybe there isn't. But yeah, it's like all these lessons just kind of brings me back to me, right? It always brings me back to self, and kind of remembering where I got started, and like when I was, reading the astrology books and reading these spiritual books and watching these long lectures and so on and so forth. I feel like I gave myself a pretty solid foundation with what I learned in the beginning, and then it's easy for us to just, again, we get caught up in doing life. We get caught up in that rejection. We get caught up in that job. We get caught up in that party we wanted to go to, and we can easily, just get caught back up into this habit of being a member of society and forgetting that I was a human before I was a member of this society. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me. And so it's kind of like, it's like the core of me is the core of me regardless of what society I live in. Right? I'm abundant. If I truly feel and believe wholeheartedly that I'm abundant, then that transcends what time I'm in, what society I'm in, what city I'm in, what country I'm in. I would think, right? I'm also thinking out loud a little bit too. And then the peace, right? The peace and the blessing comes with every lesson learned. So I learned this lesson, and I've been feeling less anxiety over the last couple days or even weeks. I've been feeling a lot less anxiety and feeling a lot more blessed. And I was like scrolling Instagram the other day, and I came across this young lady who was dancing, right? She was dancing, having a great time, and her caption is that reminders, like, as opposed to just always asking your ancestors for money and abundance and love. So why not ask them for joy? Why not ask them for play? Why not ask them for more fun? And say, yeah, you're right. This also brings me back to there was a post I did a little while ago that titled "The Spiritual Workaholic." It's like I call myself being spiritual, but while at the same time I've been doing the same thing, maybe taking spirituality so seriously that I'm not allowing myself to have fun, which I also feel like it's no coincidence that this lifetime I chose to be a musician. I'll admit, it's like, yeah, it's like when you really think about it, right? It's like if you're an old soul and you lived many, many, many lifetimes, and it's like if you could imagine this could be your last time around, and they ask you, well, you could be whatever you want. What have you always wanted to be that you never? What have you always wanted to be? Or like maybe there's a couple things you did over several back lifetimes that you really liked, and it's like I would totally do that again. I would totally love to combine this version of me with this version of me, because I'm pretty sure I was a musician before. And so yeah, like being a musician, it was never completely lost on me that I'm good at play. Like I've always been really good at sports. I've always been really good. I'm fast learner when it comes to things that involves physicality, and instruments in a way kind of does too. It's like learning instruments is as much what you're hearing as it is like the motion, the movement. So it's always something that was always came second nature for me. And again, I'm thinking about the society, again, wanting to blame the society and think about all these excuses. It's like I've accumulated so many excuses that I feel like maybe it just took me this long to like sift through, not even sift through, but dump out all these excuses I've built up as the resistance that I'm also manifesting, right? So I feel like the world outside of us is manifested from the world within us. And yeah, I am abundant. I am whole. It's like I knew that once, and I feel like I have a deeper knowing of that now. I feel like I have a deeper appreciation for the knowing of that now. I feel like I have an even deeper appreciation for that even being a thing, and remembering what a miracle that is in and of itself. It's like, and remembering how being alive is a miracle. Being a human being is a miracle. Like having lived however many years you've lived is a miracle in and of itself. See, there's a flock of birds just flying by, making all the noise possible, right? That's the celebration. Maybe I'm assuming, but it looks like they're gathering and celebrating. But right, so learning is such a fun and fascinating thing in and of itself, and it's miraculous that I'm able, it's I appreciate the miracle that is being, the miracle of being, the magicalness of being, the magicalness of existence, the blessing the blessing of gratitude and peace and joy. It's really all one and the same, and we're all one with it, right? Which is, the one, right? We're one with the universe and one with ourselves, and as in like universe, like one verse. And so yeah, I think I'm good on that for now. I'm gonna elaborate over some time. I just really needed to get that out. Appreciate y'all. Remember, you are the abundance. You are the miracle. No matter what you're going through, learn through it. When it's time to take action, you'll know. If you feel like you're not sure what action to take, then maybe there is something for you to learn. Maybe go back and forth until it works itself out. Maybe you work yourself out. Maybe you meet someone. Maybe you don't. Maybe you manifest an experience that helps you learn something that helps you move you forward again. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of what your situation is, you are the blessing. You are the blessing. You are the gift. You are the miracle. You are the magic. You. You're amazing, and you can do this, and we can do this, y'all. All right, y'all. Later.